Hello, I'm James Bay, and these are the records that changed my life. David Bowie, Young Americans. It's such an enormous sort of catalogue of music, so many incredible different sounds. Where do you start? And I remember the first time I put it on and I heard Young Americans, the opening track. It's just this incredible, like, sort of joyous celebration sound, this sort of very sort of American soul, big sound by little skinny British David Bowie. I love how bold it is, you know. There's another one or a particular one that sort of taught me, I don't have to care what anybody else thinks, I'm just going to be who I want to be. And, you know, the music, I love it because it's just one of his many colours musically. He was such a British rock and roller before that, and almost a bit folky. You know, Hunky Dory was a bizarre mix of those things and kind of poppy, sort of pop of the time. And it got a bit more serious and a little bit more grown up and gutsy on Young Americans. All these little stories, you know, the way in which John Lennon was hanging around in the studio during the recording of the record, Luther Vandross, who no one really knew at the time, as this essentially became this incredible vocal arranger on this. He was a big part of that on this album. Everyone was just sort of happy to hang out and be musical together. You know, the great story about Fame, and you know, there's the riff, and John Lennon was in the room singing the sort of vowel sound of the word. And Bowie says, you know, he was sort of stood in the corner singing AIM, and Bowie loved it, didn't know what to do with it. He says, I stuck an F on the front, you know, Fame, and that became the song. I love all of that. Yeah. My favourite lyric, it's a lot of the first verse. Just the whole introduction between the sort of couple in this, and you know. And the guy says, you know, gee, my life's a funny thing, and am I still too young? He kissed then and there. She took his ring, took his babies, it took him minutes, took her nowhere. Pretty sort of disco dancing mood, I think, for Young Americans. Yeah, you've got to be ready to get up and move.